So we'll jump right into it. So we got Little Missy. We've talked about this off and on. Great plant. It's in the PTW program. It's a dwarf, a smaller leaf, kind of a bit more of a spreader, definitely not an upright. Its big claim to fame is it scores very well on boxwood blight resistance. It's very adaptable, and it also has good resistance to other diseases like Volutilla. So very tough plant, nice plant, uniform plant, no margining to speak of, like you can see in like the velvets sometime. So looking great, and we got 1,800 of them. So I'll give you an option on boxwood if you need it. Grass, Burgundy Bunny, Hamlin's, 19 centimeter, Hamlin 3. I'll scroll down a little bit. So we got some just gorgeous redheads out there. Those are in a 3. And also the Blackhawks. I mean, you can see the photo, and if you really get on them, they got fantastic color going with just purples coming in that grass. And I know in the landscape they're scaping right now. These will be scaping shortly. But just the color to land, and it has excellent resistance to rust and spotting. That's why that plant was really picked. So this thing's going to be a real shower. This is something you want to land to somebody that might be a little more picky with foliage this time of year. If you go with this one here, that might smooth over the edges a little bit because this one stays very clean. That's one of the great things about this grass, and it will continue to perform and start to scape up. So a good one to get out there if you have somebody that has some concerns with foliage. All right. Stella de Auras, Cheryl took a photo here. We do trim. We cut them back and then we re-break them. So we got really nice fresh foliage, nice new blooms on them. So they don't have the dead blooms left over from early summer there. So you can see there, we got 8,000 of them sitting around out there. They're really nice. So they're going to continue to give us color all the way into September. So good daylily to get out there if they're really still struggling for something with color. And obviously you can see the sizing there. If you're looking at the landscape market, you know, heavy divisions in there, very big clump, not weak in any way. So they're going to be real happy with putting those in the ground. So next here is a hydrangea collage. So, you know, we've talked about hydrangeas all through late spring and early summer about all their attributes. What we wanted to do is give you a quick collage here so you can see where we are with bloom. A lot of them we had to trim back. You know, we've talked about this hydrangea. Going forward, it's dang near impossible to ship a hydrangea in full bloom and keep it looking good. So we either have to be in the foliage or bud stage when we're shipping them. I know that out in the landscape, a lot of them are in full bloom. I really wish I could land them that way, but just moving them around and shaking them around, they start to split apart, and by the time they get to the customer, they really look rough. So we have to get them there as they're budding. That needs to be our goal. So we have quick fire here. You can see here, we're just starting the budding process on the rebreak. Strawberry Sunday, same thing. There are buds down in there. They're just starting that process. Little Lime, we're a little further along. They will start to open up as we go along here. So we're still okay. We're still good for shipping. They should ship fine next week. I do have a trim back crop that'll come online in a couple weeks, so we'll keep moving through. Lime Ricky, you can see there, that's a little bit different animal. It's in the arborescence category, but it will put a bloom on shortly. So we'll just scroll down here. Vanilla Strawberry, you're just starting to make some buds in there. Little quick fire, we're ways off from a flower on this crop, but they still will bud up and throw some blooms out yet this fall. Pinky Winky, that's going to be the same thing. We're just starting to see a little formation of a bud inside the whorl. Bobo, you can see here, there's some flowers starting, flowers coming up on the tops. They're not going to be a blaze of flowers like they are in the initial run, but we will still get good flowering on the Bobos. So I think that was it. So we are still out of limelight. That is not where I wanted to be. We still have some little limes out there. Hope we can keep pushing those. Cheryl and I just took another look this morning. We just cannot do the limelight for next week. We got a lot of growth starting on them, pushing out. We will be in business the week of the 24th. So that's where we are. Shipping it next week, we're only going to disappoint people. Zed, look there. So the first one there off to your left, that's our 3. You can see how nice that is. And then on the right, that's our squat 7 pot. It is bigger, because she's a little closer on the one photo, but still the 3 gallon is excellent value. And the 5, you can just see it. And that foliage is all the way down to the can, draping over the can. We spent a lot of time to make sure that we don't have hollowed out spots towards the bottom, which I typically see as these glabers get older. So feel very confident they're a great size, great value, well over spec, and nice and full with good clean foliage. So next here, is in the proven winner category. So you got strong box. You can see there, this crop is not as big. Strong box is going to be also a little bit slower grower, a little more compact. But you can see there, nice clean foliage, full to the bottom over the can, looking great. We got well over 1,500 that we can start shipping. Festivus Gold, we've been out of a gold Physocarpa for quite a while. We had very few this spring, and then been waiting for the crop to turn on. You can see here they're looking great. They got nice, new, fresh foliage on them, good color. They'll continue to progress very nicely throughout the fall. Cheryl was able to put 700 of those on. So we did just a note. We were doing Tiny Wine Gold. Say that 3 times fast. And we decided to switch to Festivus because we felt the plant was a lot better. So if you have anybody calling up that says they want Tiny Wine Gold, Festivus Gold is right there. It's almost an identical plant. It's actually a better plant. So Salix, Akira Nishiki. So we've been shipping these big giant ones out there. They're just getting too big. There's a lot of growth coming off of them. They're wild. We have to go back in and trim them. This is what the plant looks like. This is what we will ship. So it is trimmed. It has just little bits of growth, but it will be a difference because what we ship this week will not match what we're shipping next week. So we wanted to make sure we communicated that. We have 500 that we can ship like this. They're looking good. It's typical this time of year. You're not going to get a lot of pinks in them. We might get a little bit more as this growth pushes out, but mostly you're just going to see the whitish and the green colors in there. Those are ready there. Go up. Okay, 15-gallon Schmargard, 500 plus. We want to show you where we are. We're still right there. Cheryl is showing you an average size. There are some that are just a little bit bigger. But this is the bottom end of the spec. We will ship this as a 60-inch plant. Obviously, we will go through and pull the biggest ones, but the bigger ones aren't a whole lot bigger than these. So do not oversell the size on the 15 gallons, but really nice plants, full, looking real good. And what else we got? Nope, still got more. So spilled wine, we showed you last week. We put just a few on. The crop progressed, which is great. She was able to put 1,000 on, and I anticipate we'll keep rolling stuff from fall bucket to current as we go along here. but they're looking really good. We're back in the spilled wine business. I thank everybody for being patient there. Going forward, we did do some different cannings this year to help make sure we keep a crop for that into July, into the beginning of August. So it's just an additional canning. So we're down to like 4 different cannings on this thing. So it gets complicated on the grower end, but we want to make sure we don't run out of this. And then we just wanted to show you the wine and rose still look great, excellent value. You can see the size there. They got foliage all the way down to the bottom. And we're looking real good there. And we got good numbers on both of those Weigela coming up.